Need to apologize. I haven't been making a lot of videos. Benny's a little disappointed in that fact. But as you can see, beautiful March day in not sunny California. Sorry, I got to talk over my tin roof here. Anyway, we are getting pummeled. The drought is over. I had a window this week of about 6 hours to get about a 10-hour job done. So I'm going to take you on that journey. So everything I did with this little Linchon SP 135 Plus. I know I've bragged about this in the past, but this is the best tool I own. It's 20 years old. If you find any welders out there in the field that have one of these, I think I paid around $1,100 for it new. Actually, no, I take that back. I paid about $800 for it new, brand new, from a nice little welding supply. It's a little 110 MIG welder. The distinction this one has is in all my years of using it, I've probably gone through 5 stingers. Once you get the temperature correct, and once you get the wire speed correct, this thing will run all day long off a 300-foot extension cord in a 20-amp circuit. All day long. I've welded, comfortably 3/16. I take my time. If I got to weld something 1/4 inch, I turn it way up. I burn up a tip, but 90% of the stuff I do is like 095 wall or 120 wall. This thing will go all day long. No generator needed. Now I have a generator. It's sitting over there with a bunch of stuff on it. I fire this thing up I don't know, very, very, not very often. That goes with the bigger welder, gate hinges, stuff like that. Something that I really got to get a nice penetration on. But 90% of the stuff that I do outside, I use this little guy. They don't make them anymore. So this one was made in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio, back when Linchon used to have piece workers. The quality in the new Lincolns, I know it's gone down. But anyway, this little guy right here, if something happened to this, I would be on eBay. I would be all over the place to find this exact model, because in every welder I know that has one of these says it's the best tool they own also. The Linchon over there, or the Miller over there. The Miller's a great machine. It's a great machine in the shop. It actually welds better than this. It puts out a little bit better looking bead. But as far as flux core in the field, that guy right there will blow every circuit. I got to have it have to have it on a generator. It's a 220, 110 combination. Great little machine. But that's the shop one. This is the field one. I've drug it all over the place. It paid for itself first time I used it. One bit of advice for MIG welders, especially flux core. If you're using flux core, don't buy cheap wire. This wire right here, this is Washington alloy wire. It's just 030. I get smart, and because I'm out in the field, I put a little filter on there. That's a really nice little invention that somebody came up with. I use good tips, and I use good wire. As soon as you go cheap on that, you're going to have problem after problem after problem. You're going to just fly through tips. You're going to, the weld's not going to, basically the crap wire is going to make the tip not work, and the tip's going to burn up. Put good wire on. Good spool of wire. I could weld all day with the same tip usually. So it'll pay for itself. It will definitely pay for itself. The $75 MIG wire or flux core MIG wire compared to the $50, go with the 75, please, people. The only thing I've done with this thing, I think I put I ruined the stinger, or the little cord coming out of the back of it. I put something heavier duty on. It's got like a 10-foot lead. This thing just gets drug all over the place. It gets dropped. It sits in the back of the truck. It gets bounced all over the place. And I know for those of you that there's nothing better than, you know, taking your welder out and setting it up and you're having a little 5-minute project and you pull the trigger and it runs for about 30 seconds. And then finally you open up the back, it cuts off, you open up the back and there's a big old rat's nest of wire because the wire came off the spool, especially with the new spools. A trick. My buddy Robert showed me this. Anytime you're going in the field, you always have about 5 of these laying in your truck. Throw that right there. This has got squished. Now, as the wire goes down, you know, anytime you're transporting, I just do that with it. And that pretty much holds that wire in place. You could use a towel, you could use foam, you could use something fancy like that. But this is the best fix I got. You know, the tips are in there, you know, me, a pair of Welpers, and this thing, you know, that little welder right there, gloves and a helmet. I can do a lot of damage. Best machine I own, hands down, just because of the mobility of it, the fact that you don't need great power to run it, and it runs all day long. So never ran through the duty cycle once. Don't know what a duty cycle is with this thing. So anyway, and one of the things I want to point out in this video is you get done with a job and, you know, basically it's time, that is the time to fix everything that needs to be fixed. And in this case, you know, the tip's flopping around, you know, basically the, you know, the stinger, you know, that little wand right there is you know, is doing 360s on me. And the last thing I want to do is go out to the next job and all of a sudden say, you know, I forget that didn't forget that it was broke, because I'm at that age where I do forget where it's broke. So I'm going to change that thing out really quick. I'm just going to, you know, tighten the things down. And that way, when I go to the next job, my tools work. That's a big plus in this business. My tools work. My lens is clean on my helmet. You know, my batteries are plugged in and charged. Little things like that. That makes your job as a welder much, much, much easier. Found the problem. That came loose. That's supposed to spun a couple times. Hold on to this. Little 9/16. Don't get too crazy. Trick is to line this thing up right. So it clicks in there, and that's at the right angle. And that's where it wants to go. It's got a little funk to it. I mean, ideally, it's, you know, absolutely perfectly straight. But I'd rather just move on to another project. That clicks in there. So it was nice, you know, make sure that everything works. Boom. They give you this one little one here that kind of holds everything together as you find your screws. Oh, I mean, I don't care if my angle's a little bit off. You know, I'm constantly doing this stuff anyway. As long as this thing stays in the same spot. That's what I'm worried about. All right. So anyway, that's today's lesson. The Miller 135 Plus. If you could find one, I'm telling you right now, they're gold, people. They're gold. Snap that thing up. It's every bit worth a $3,000 machine, hands down. So if you could find one, you know, if you have an extra one, leave a comment and I'll take it. All right, that's today's lesson. Miller 130 or Lincoln 135. I keep screwing that stuff up. Miller, Lincoln, those are your two brands anyway. So go for it. Enjoy the day. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment and learn by doing, my friends.